There are a few dignitaries that we have in the audience, and there's too many to name them all. But I like to just mention at least two in sincere humbleness, and that is one, Ms. Baina Bello of the Haitian Women for Haitian Refugees, who's in the audience, and also Mr. Alexis Burke, Vice President of the New York Times. I thank you both. And now this meeting will be turned over to His Holiness as the question and answer session will now proceed. For those of you who like to ask His Holiness a question, there's a mic that's situated in the center of the room. There has been names taken, so if you kindly step forward with your questions. Alhamdulillah.
Have you already listed the names of those who wanted to ask questions?
Some have said, but they have also had the right to rescind that if they chose.
Of course they have, but the way you said it, I thought it was organized and everybody knew when his turn would come. Is that right?
No, they have been given the option.
So let's invite all the honorable guests to choose their right to ask questions if they so like. I am at your disposal. I know I have a long experience of such meetings all over the world. I know it's like rain. The first drop is most difficult to come by. But when it begins to rain, then nobody can stop it. So such is always the case of questions and answers, which I have experienced myself. So I hope somebody would become the first drop of rain, but not the last one. Oh yes, of course. Most wonderful. Please.
Thanks.
Can I put it across?
Yeah, thanks.
You want to tell you, I said, put it without disrespect to you. No.
Your Eminence, Assalamu alaikum again. Be good enough and share with us your vision of the role of Islam and of the Ahmadiyya movement in Islam during the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. Share with us your vision and enlighten us. Thank you.
My very dear friend, more than a friend, a very dear brother to me, who understands me and I understand him better than many people perhaps can imagine. He has asked me a question which is so comprehensive and universal in nature that it will take me the best part of the remaining hours, and I say hours, not hour, to deal with this one single question. So that is my embarrassment and difficulty, but I will try to be as brief as possibly I can be. One thing I must remind you, if you don't know it already, that a few years ago in London I delivered a lecture on the issue of Islam's response to contemporary issues, and it was a well-attended lecture. It has been now published in the form of a book. So the major questions regarding what Ahmadiyyat can do on behalf of Islam in the world of today have been discussed in that lecture, which is available in the book form. But as I said, I would briefly attempt to answer the question. I believe that Ahmadiyyat is going to play a greater role and a growingly greater role in the world affairs regarding human peace and establishment of absolute justice in the world. I believe what is lacking, what is wanting in the world of today is awareness, as in awareness that we talk big and act low. We are living a lie. we claim everywhere in the world, it's not a question of the first world or second or third world. Everywhere alike we claim that we are for peace. But on what platform, on what grounds are we attempting to build peace? In the air, because the peace they talk about cannot be built without the foundation and a solid foundation of absolute justice. So talk of peace without justice is totally meaningless. It's like building castles in the air. And more so it is important because all the world's nations are aware of the impending dangers to the peace, and yet they don't realize that whenever they talk of justice, they do not speak of absolute justice. They speak of relative justice. And this includes America. I hope not to offend the sensibilities of Americans here, but I'm right. I can't be but right because I want to remain truthful. It is a situation which is a universal situation applying to every country. When the political leaders here, for instance, claim that they are working for justice, the term justice is narrowly defined in covering the justice in relation to Americans. If it is unjust for the other nations, but according to the American vantage point, it is just, then every American leader would opt for that narrow-minded justice test, which is acceptable to the Americans in their own countries. And they have no other option, that is the point, because they will be removed from leadership if they behave in a universal manner. So this is just an example because we are sitting here on American soil, which you understand better being Americans mostly, I mean, but I'm talking of the whole world following exactly the same pattern. Ahmadiyya community is committed to spread the awareness of this inconsistency in the world's ambitions and world's actions. Moreover, this inconsistency is found everywhere in relation to moral values. Everywhere we want to be a peaceful society. We want to do away with robbing and mugging and all sorts of atrocities committed by man against man, like before us. I don't remember, well, it was a senator or a congressman, but an honorable guest who mentioned the figure perhaps of 70-some thousand people being carelessly murdered here in America every year by other youth. Now, we want peace, we declare it, but on what foundation? Nobody cares to analyze the issue of peace in relation to morality. And without emphasizing the role of morality, you cannot achieve peace through the law-abiding forces. It's impossible. Moreover, your media is attracting people to a life of pleasure and plenty, which is beyond the access of most people of the world. Most people